Aren't you about tired of listening to sports shows with all the woke bullshit? So are we. This is Patriot Sports Radio.
Patriot Sports Radio.
Fed up with the national talking heads and biases of mainstream sports media. If it's sports, from the high school level to the pros, we're talking about it. Like the red-blooded Americans we are.
God bless America.
God bless America.
God bless America.
Let's do this. And now, here's Eric, Angela, John, Chris, and the coach.
Welcome back, my friends. If you're new, then welcome in Patriot Sports Radio. My name is Eric. I'm your host. You knew that already. Glad to have you with us. Thank you for all those reviews. Chris is over there shoveling coal, keeping the fire going. Gang's all here. I believe Angela is en route. Coach is there. He's got the old school Packers logo behind him. John, you got a crispy headband there. Is that a new one?
No, just got it back from the dry cleaner.
Nice. We have much to discuss. We had conference championships last night, which means NFL playoffs are around the corner. Colorado is losing quarterbacks like phone chargers. Chick-fil-A is revolutionizing the delivery game. And rich people, are they playing underwater tennis in Dubai? Angela, how you doing? You made it just in
Back
time.
from the dead.
Back by popular demand, taking over the interior design game.
Trying. Definitely. How you doing, guys?
Outstanding.
Good.
Outstanding. We just had a pile of football. We got a whole bunch more today. Let's start with these conference championships. Let's get Michigan, Iowa out of the way, because did Iowa score any points? I went to bed.
Nope.
Okay. So, yeah.
They were who we thought they were.
It's like they made a deal with the devil, and they said, give us the best defense we can muster at the cost of any offensive production. It's so lopsided because their defense is solid. The first half, they were good, and I was impressed, stopping a lot of Michigan. The points coming off special teams or a weird call that puts Michigan with the ball at the 5. But they sold their soul to the devil, and it was at the expense of the most god-awful offense I've ever seen in my life.
It is really Big Ten to the extreme. They can't.
The commentator was super funny. I thought it was like, he was like, oh, they put in all the hard work, and here they are, the Hawkeyes, knocking at the door of a championship. And I was like, are we watching the same game? Knocking at the door? Not quite.
No, that door is a securely locked bank vault that they are never getting in. They were like 200-1 to get into the playoff. I mean, regardless, is Michigan the 1 seed now, Coach, because they won their conference championship in a shutout fashion?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think what you do is you have 6 in there. That's what people are saying. We should have an emergency 16.
Who's the top 4?
Fortunately, they fixed it for next year, so we don't have to have this argument next year. But this year,
we're in a bind.
It's going to be a mess.
Yeah.
Somebody's going home butt hurt.
Yeah.
Who's in it? Who do you got?
I mean, I will tell you, this is just the world according to where Coach lives. If you beat everybody on your schedule, everybody they put in front of you've earned the right to be there. So that automatically puts in Michigan, Washington, and Florida State. The only other option, the only other spot left would go to Texas, because they literally played on the same field and they beat Alabama in week 2. I understand it's a week 2 games, but games mean a lot.
Matters.
And I feel like that's your top 4. And I feel like that anything outside that top 4 is ridiculous to the system. And I think that there is a known and definite bias to the SEC. So I highly doubt that
when Alabama gets in tonight.
I think Florida State is going to be on the outside looking in. I truly believe that, but I think that it's going to it sucks, because that's not right. And I go back to this in my arguments with several friends from that are very pro SEC. If Texas would have lost that game against Alabama in week 2 and ran the table, would you be making the same argument for Texas? And the argument and the answer is absolutely not. So
not a chance.
It's a 100% SEC biased. And then I even had one gentleman that said, well, I don't know why it wouldn't be, because the SEC is the dominant league in college football and has been for many years. And that's a true statement. That's a factual and true statement. And there are many people that would say a playoff system. Well, I mean, I heard one this morning, a playoff system that does not include an SEC team does not get watched. And I think that factors into it monetarily too. It is the best league in college football, but I find it really funny. It's a very, I'll just wrap it up with this, but I find it very ironic that the SEC is having to argue their way in to something for the past 15 years. They bang the drum with everybody else saying how ridiculous it is. You just got to win your way on the field. But now they're taking the other side of the argument. I think it's almost comical to me that they're having to argue their way in, and they shouldn't be in. The SEC shouldn't be in because the NCAA would do it to any other conference, no doubt.
Yeah,
and
this is very simple. This is simple math. This should be the easiest pick we've ever had. You have 3 undefeated teams coming from 3 major conferences, so they're in. And then the other 2 that we're arguing about, they've already played head to head. We have the winner. Next. It's easy.
Yeah. And like Coach said, if the roles were reversed and we had a Alabama and Texas's spot, Alabama was in, no questions asked.
The only reason why we're even having this discussion is because it's Alabama and it's Texas, and they're both heavy hitters when it comes to cash money.
It's dishonest to
and
the
heavy hitters when it comes to audiences.
If you put either of those, either or both, is completely dishonest to the system that you created.
It's because it's a completely flawed system. It's the only reason we're having this. Because the argument basically is most deserving versus top 4 teams. Well, the top 4 teams, I could make an argument: Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, Alabama.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You could make that argument. So I think it's flawed to begin with. I think FSU, there's a difference between what's fair and what we want. We really don't want Florida State in there on a backup quarterback. Let's be honest. And that stinks. But I would much rather make the tough decision and kick Florida State out, knowing that they're not going to really hold a candle, maybe to Washington, but they're not going to really hold a candle to anybody of the others that are going to make it. And that's unfortunate because I want to see them with their starting quarterback. So I think Florida State, I think they make the tough decision and boot them out, because ultimately it's going to come down to eyeballs. And if you have Texas or Alabama in there, that's ultimately what I think the majority of America wants to sit down and watch, rather than a hobbled FSU team, get a moral victory.
I mean, Texas and Alabama and Michigan, that's a wet dream for any of these fucking marketing people for the playoffs. That's who they want. That is fucking money. There's a lot of that commercial value goes way up.
But I also would hold a lot of respect for somebody who said, no, screw you guys. Florida State won all their games. I don't care what happens. They're in. They won. I would love that too.
John, you're 100% right.
Yes.
That's 100%. It would.
That'd be
how
an Elon
great
Musk
would it be?
movement.
Yeah. How awesome would it be for the committee to come out and make a statement today and say, listen, if you beat everybody on your schedule, you're in. The next team in was Texas because they beat your conference champion. If we were having the argument the other way, that's the way it's going to be. That's the right thing to do, and that's what we're doing. I mean, I doubt that's ever going to happen.
You think they come out and say this morning that we checked out PSR, they really laid out the case? It's really that simple. Maybe they.
I honestly believe it is that simple.
It is that simple if we're being what's the word, objective?
Yeah.
But this is not an objective system.
You're exactly right. It's a flawed system.
Mm-hmm.
It just baffles me that, like I said, had Texas lost in week 2 and ran the table, would we be making the same argument for Texas? And the answer is an emphatic no. I mean, no one would be making that argument for Texas. the same way that 2 years ago.
If Texas wins by a field goal, we might not be having this discussion either. Just yesterday.
Well,
but they did what they were supposed to do.
Was it? Was it 2-3 years ago when Scott Frost and what was it, Central Florida won every game on their deal, didn't make it in? They crowned themselves national champions. I mean, I said that this morning too. I said, okay, and maybe the SEC, either one of those schools beat every one of the other ones. I don't know, but get ready for an asterisk by your title, because you're going to have to award an undefeated Florida State that goes and wins their bowl game a national title too.
And I'm surprised they didn't call that a touchdown in the end zone when the kid from Louisville arguably scored a touchdown. Like, that was your shot to get Florida State out of the equation.
Yeah, but how do they come out and argue if they put both Bama and Texas in there? How do they argue that to us?
Well, they've already greased the skids by saying it's going to be the best 4 teams. That's how you knew Florida State was out. That's how you know Florida State's out, and because they're smart.
No, you're right.
They wouldn't have said any of that if they didn't already have this plan in place, and they're just making calls, making sure donors aren't going to get too pissed.
Yeah, that was laying.
Yeah, and it's, you don't want to piss off a whole conference. You can piss off an ACC school. That's what's going to happen here. I mean, Florida State better get ready for a big letdown today, because I'd find it shocking if they were in. Because no one wants to see them trot in and play Washington and get manhandled with the backup quarterback. No one wants to see that.
They won't play
whether they earn their way there or not.
I'd absolutely love it if we turned it on and actually Washington got booted.
It would be, what would be even better?
However we dice this up, it's either going to be Bama or Florida State playing Washington, right?
Yeah, Florida State's going to get screwed here.
It'll probably be Alabama.
Or it'll be Bama or
what would
Texas.
be great is if Florida State got in and ran the table, won the whole damn thing.
Oh,
that'd be great.
It won't happen.
We'd make a ton of money too, because I'd bet it.
That's who America would be pulling for sure. Well,
by the end of that playoffs, they wouldn't even be the Seminoles. They'd be the fucking Florida groupers.
Yep. Yeah.
Because somebody would have protested them, glued themselves to the fucking goalpost, and been done.
Groupers is a cool mascot.
Hey, that's not, if you could be the Goliath groupers.
Ooh,
I mean, that's solid. That's a great fish. I mean,
Is
every
there
once
any
in a
other
while,
thing?
the social media algorithm has realized that I like fishing videos, and it feeds me some weird, like, I've seen guys in kayaks catch 300-pound Goliath groupers. Like this.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Thailand, there is some weird fishing video happening right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there will be some people watching on giant TVs. Did you hear about this TCL promotion? A few people from the TCL promotional department probably looking for jobs today to celebrate the first ever Black Friday football game. Black Friday big screen TVs, like peanut butter and jelly. Somebody at TCL said, hey, we got these 98-inch TVs. How about you enter our sweepstakes, probably give us all your personal information. And then if somebody in this Black Friday game scores a 98-yard touchdown or longer, we'll give away $1 million in these TVs. And they didn't realize that old Tim Boyle was back there throwing 98, 99-yard touchdowns to the defense. So now they have given 84 drawn winners a 98-inch television. So you only get 84 out of them for $1 million. That's an expensive television. I'm not a math guy.
So you have to ship those puppies, I would imagine. That's where the expense is going to come in.
That's where they get you. Oh, and we paid that marketing guy $200,000, so that goes into the cost of the TVs.
Yep.
I know how they finagle this. Trust me.
They just move some numbers around, like Mattress Mac. He never actually loses, does he? He just moves money around. He's one of those.
It's not real dollars. It's fractions of pennies, like an office space.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fraction of a penny. No, it becomes ours, and that's not stealing.
That was the game I was watching in Austria. And let me tell you, the play-by-play guys aren't as good over there. It's not the same, guys. I wish I could tell you.
Sports bar. What's the crowd in the sports bar in Austria like, John?
I only saw
is that
one
a pretty
sports
hype crowd.
No,
Huh?
I only saw one sports bar, and it was only actually I walked by. It was Ohio State, Michigan, and some guy clearly thought that if you went to a sports bar, they'd have Ohio State, Michigan on, and they did not. They had European soccer. So he had his
Oh my
iPad set up
God.
watching Ohio State, Michigan.
Oh,
Ouch.
It's weird because they get crazy at the stadiums, but not in the bars. Interesting.
Yep.
oh,
I think Spanish television is where it's at as far as if you want to listen to another language, call your American
Yeah,
sport.
Mexico. Oh gosh,
The Spanish guys get into it. Yep. You know who's not into it? Nobody's into playing for the Buffaloes anymore. Remember when we were all Colorado fans? Those were good times. In the days following their season-ending loss to Utah, though, Coach Prime and the Buffaloes have lost the commitments of 3 players, their 2024 3-star quarterback, Danny O'Neal, and the class of 2025 3-star running back, Jamaris Walker. They announced their decommits on Monday immediately after the loss. And then their 2025 4-star recruit quarterback, Antoine Hill, also out. So
easy come, easy go.
This is how fickle these kids are now. Everybody's in the portal. They're just always identifying as a fluid team.
How do you get anything done?
I will tell you that I truly believe that if you lost somebody right there, you'll either one have a chance to get them back later because they'll be in the portal again, or you didn't want them to begin with.
Could be. I think it's interesting. Coach Prime has taken one on the chin this season. And I think a lot of it comes back to everybody kind of supports what he's doing and likes it. But if you remember day one, he came in with his overpriced Louis Vuitton luggage and said, your ass is out of here. And it's like, okay, well, for another 3 wins, that's what you got. You know, you can't build a team through the transfer portal. It can put you over the edge, but this is college football with camaraderie, and you got 3-year starters are winning national championships and things like that. So I think it's a bit of a flawed premise that he's building a program on until he can get 4 or 5 years into this, and he's got a good bedrock of players, and honestly, he needs some goodwill. I think it's going to be more of the same. People come in and are attracted by the flash in the pan, and then when they realize it's not like that and they're going to have to work hard, then they're out. So not surprised at all.
Yeah, that deal. I mean, when you look at it, he had a pretty solid turnaround. I mean, that they won one game in the last 2 years. What is it? 2 games in the last 2 years? I mean, that he's on the right track. Things are trending in the right way. So just the fact that he, the bandwagon started burning pretty quick after, and it went down in flames. But man, I'll tell you what, there the first few weeks of the season, he was white hot and riding high. And it was, I was hoping that he would win one more and they would go to a bowl game, but it didn't happen. So I like what he's doing. I think it's cool, but on the same token, goes to show you, man, everybody loves a winner. If you're not winning, it's a bad scene.
You're losing.
What have you done for me in the last 5 minutes? That's what college football is now.
Yeah.
College basketball, I thought Angel Reese was suspended. The stuff I saw, that's what I heard from our corrupt mainstream media. Anyway, maybe she was, but her coach definitely isn't telling us anything that I can find. She talks about locker room issues, so who knows? She returned. She got benched at halftime like 4 games ago. She missed about 4 games, and now she's just mysteriously back. I don't think, maybe we'll find out in a 30 for 30 that nobody asked for 5 years from now or something.
She got good dirt on somebody.
Sounds like there was an argument somewhere. Maybe she got too famous. I heard she couldn't go to class on campus anymore, right? Wasn't she taking online courses because she was too famous to go to the LSU campus now?
Mm-hmm.
That's happened before. I mean, that's not something new where somebody is, especially somebody in a Heisman race or something, they end up taking their classes online and in the dorms instead of having to go to class because they get bothered and stuff. I mean, that's not new. there's a little bit of ridiculousness to all this. I think. I don't know. I'm old school. What do I know? I'm just the old guy going. Yeah, really? I mean, I don't. Whatever.
Yeah. It's completely unrecognizable to what we grew up watching, Coach.
And
I agree.
They're honestly put in situations. I mean, she was in magazines, she was in rap videos. She's not going to say no to any of that, of course, but the college athletes today are just put in a completely different scenario. And I would imagine, you're going to have some crash and burn and have, and get egos, of course. Are we surprised? No, whether this is Angel Reese or some guy who plays baseball or basketball or whatever. I'm sure she went and locked horns with her coach, who is a bit of a douche. And I'm sure she sat her for about 4 games because of some altercation they had back and forth. That coach is too much. I mean, she's laughing about it. Laughing about it. I think I got COVID and stuff. Like, what are you talking about in this post game? I'm not talking about it, so quit asking kind of mindset. It doesn't really fly when you basically leveraged all of that stardom to get all the attention, and now you don't want it. Well, this is the other side of the coin, and now you gotta discuss what's going on with your major athlete, and she doesn't want to do it. She's just arms folded. Next question. I think I have COVID. What?
A way to change the subject.
Yeah, she goes, I got the sniffles.
Malky's kind of COVID. A diva anyway.
Yeah.
She was at Baylor, and she was a royal I don't even want to say it, but she was a terrible person. She was not a very pleasant person when she was at Baylor. And then she got the Griner deal and ended up winning a couple of natties and sailed off for a paycheck at LSU. And now she's kind of transformed. She used to look kind of like an old leather couch I used to have, and she's kind of redone herself, and it's obviously you can tell somebody spent a little cash,
if you will,
reupholstered the carpet and the drapes a little bit, and next thing you know, we're at LSU, and it's interesting. I don't know. I just think that she's a diva too. She loves the attention.
Yeah.
Don't kid yourself. She loved it when she was at Baylor too. She was the first one to say anything when the whole Griner deal was going on. It just she loves being in the spotlight.
Yeah. Well, you don't dress in peacock feathers because you don't like attention.
Right.
That's exactly right.
It's a dead
you don't wear the Ric Flair robe unless you want to draw some.
We did a segment about her Ric Flair robes a while ago, I think.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. She's a bit. That's probably why she's given such vague answers. She wants you to keep asking. She's got that Aaron Rodgers syndrome.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
We always need to be talking about her. Now, I don't know if you've seen this photo, but contrary to what you may have seen, they do not have an underwater tennis court in Dubai, which is pretty disappointing. Now I'm wondering what other Dubai crazy shit I've heard about isn't real too. But the best I could find was articles from 2015 to 2019 talking about how the plan was gaining traction, but maybe COVID killed it. I don't know if COVID could kill a project in Dubai, but
no.
I mean, they seem immune to everything, including the sniffles. So it's not happened yet. They're still just in the talking about it phase, which disappoints me. I thought it was a thing. I was excited to watch a video of,
underwater tennis.
Off. Yeah. One of the main concerns, as you may expect, there's some problems with building a regulation-sized tennis court underwater. Plus, the picture I saw had a lot of sharks, and now that I think about it, there probably wouldn't be that many sharks. You would have to, they say, the smart people say, it would require a continuous pane of glass at least 108 feet wide that would weigh perhaps 100 tons. So that's a bit of a barrier. It would also need to withstand earthquakes and tsunamis. I guess they have those over there. What are they doing building skyscrapers, if they're having tsunamis and earthquakes? Wild.
Good question.
just to completely deviate from the subject, have you seen, what is it, Iceland or Greenland has had like 1,000 earthquakes inside of a week? What the hell is that?
End of days, man.
Demons beneath the surface.
End of days.
Right.
Yeah.
We see something.
Oh yeah.
We
It's
see
known
something
for
once a
volcanoes.
week that honestly makes me think it's the end of days. Whether it's like this new space thing, aliens. We thought we saw Bigfoot, that was debunked, but it's like end of days. People are finding new stars and new planets and stuff, and it's like it's been here the whole time. Wait, what?
What?
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I saw one of the Quaid brothers had a movie that talked about that. I just watched it the other day. Tomorrow, no tomorrow, or
my recent favorite was watching a robot discover itself in a mirror on the internet, and I was like, "Oh, we're so done now. Like it's over."
I saw a video yesterday of a human hand a robot a gun that the robot then fired at a vehicle, and another robot got out of and said, "I'm alive."
Oh, God.
Have you seen the one of the
So we're
the bodyguard for some Saudi Arabian president that's a robot that can it's literally like it looks like some kind of Terminator machine, and it walks in front of him and one walks behind him. It's like a T-6000
1000, yeah.
And it was listing all of the things that it could do and all of
He's
the
the
things
meat part
that
of
were
a
just
future world destruction sandwich.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was two of them, one walking in front and behind this guy, and I thought, why would we? I mean, the technology and everything is there, I understand, but that doesn't make it a great thing. I mean, it just looks, I don't know.
That's a lot of trust, man. That's a lot of trust.
Yeah, I agree.
John, what's going on with the Dollar Bet Club? I got it in the rundown.
Well,
we got to have updates on that by now. Did you do college champ?
I did. So I went on Washington Friday night. Washington to score first, and Washington to cover the points. Cashed in on both. I teased Michigan up to plus money. They ended up winning by more than 24, so won there. NFL, hit or miss. So I seem to always do this. I seem to get on a plane and then realize where I'm going to be for the next 10 days doesn't allow betting. So then I scramble and put in bets before I get dinged by the flight attendant. But all that to say, because of that, week 11 only 14.3% hit rate, but week 12 71. So
there we go.
We're doing great. We're doing great. My parlays, I do a lot of money line parlays, basically taking the favorites, bundle them all together, try to get to some positive money. I'm 1 for 4 on those.
Those are
there's usually one team that dicks me. It's like the Chiefs lose to the Broncos. Are you kidding me?
Oh.
So on a little bit of a 2-week heater this week, really like the Chiefs. I like the over in that game. Like the under in Eagles Niners. My parlay is Dallas, Miami, Pittsburgh, and Kansas City. I can already tell Pittsburgh's probably going to screw me on that one. And let's see.
Jordan Love's going to beat the Chiefs at home. That's what's going to happen right in front of Taylor Swift's face.
Right in her face. And then, I've got I'm on the Chargers over the Patriots. I feel like that's a lock at this point because they're a dumpster fire. But again, that's another one where I could see the Patriots winning because the Chargers are the Chargers.
2 disasters.
Yeah.
Is what you got there. Who can out disaster the other?
So it's a blurry week. We'll see. I would anticipate maybe hitting about 50%, but overall, other than week 11 having a big collapse, I think season total we're at 49% on 99 total votes or total bets.
Dollar Bet Club making its 100th wager on this NFL Sunday.
That's right.
It's a momentous occasion.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Do you think Joe Flacco can win a football game?
As our other podcast buddy says, the corpse of Joe Flacco. No, I don't see that happening.
38 years old, getting the start.
How much of a
pulled off the
dick is
couch.
Carson Wentz that nobody wants him on
Yeah.
the team?
I think he's
I mean, how is he not on the Jets?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Why did the Jets or Vikings not go after him? I mean, it's
There's got to be something there. He must just be a dick.
I don't understand the Jets organization at all. Like they totally baffled me, and I feel like that they have botched this deal from the jump. Like they had everything going their way, only to get their dream squandered in week one, and then to even double down with the kid that likes moms. And then when you realize that was a mistake, why did you not hit the free agency market? Why? Now you're going to ride with Tim Boyle for the rest of the season? Come on, man. I mean,
Boiler.
That's what our organization's doing. There's got to be somebody at a round table in a conference room somewhere in upstate New York that's going, what are we doing here? Or New Jersey, I guess.
Yeah, Jersey, yeah.
Jets are in Jersey. But is there nobody in New Jersey that's going, hey, man, can we sign anyone that's better than this guy? I mean,
yeah.
There's got to be something out there.
Are you tanking for the draft? It doesn't make sense. And now you have no chance to make anything. And you're talking about resurrecting gonna go ahead and bring him back. You're gonna trot 12 out there again. I mean, I don't even understand the logic in that thought process.
I bet you he makes them go get Devontae Adams too. Really go all chips in.
I mean, I could see it.
Bankrupt that motherfucker.
I could see it at the end of the season. If he was like, hey, we're getting the band back together. My knee's good. My leg's good. We're going to make one last ride. Everybody in. I could see that, but we're not even to the end of the season yet. And I saw a chart the other day of all of the cronies that Aaron Rodgers has brought over and kind of where are they now? None of them were positive. None of them.
Lazard was a healthy scratch last week.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go down the whole list of Rodgers cronies. It's all terrible.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, Hackett, Cobb. I mean, the list just keeps on rolling. It's terrible.
What are you doing giving Randall Cobb money?
Cobb has 3 receptions on the year.
How about Mercedes? Who else did they get? The tight end?
They did take Mercedes Lewis. Yeah.
Yeah, Mercedes
who's like
Lewis.
40.
I haven't even heard his name.
Yeah.
Because
Rodgers loves him. Big dog. Love big dog. Like, okay, but this is also a business, dude.
Didn't Cam Akers also come back from an injury and then basically blew it out right away?
Came back from one Achilles and blew the other. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be straight out of the movie Friday Night Lights when Boobie Miles goes back in too early, and then he's going to get crushed, and you're going to say, okay, now he's really done. Okay, you're changing careers now. That
Boobie
thing is
Miles.
gone. I love that movie so much.
What a win! Put Boobie in.
Yeah, that's right. And then one play, one cut. Oh gosh.
Done.
Yeah, I think we were all fearing for Aaron Rodgers. There's no way in God's green earth he should come back. I mean, how much does personal pride and hubris get in his way?
It runs.
We're gonna find out.
And he's not a dumb person. I don't understand it from any standpoint. I don't understand it from his camp. I don't understand it from the Jets camp. I don't understand it from a PR standpoint. I don't understand anything about it. It doesn't make sense to me. None of it makes any logical sense other than one guy trying to show that he can trot back out there.
Yep.
No, I think he's just trying to show that he can do whatever he wants to do. It's like his like free fun, free for all, and that it's like his own personal thing. I don't even think he does it for public publicity anymore. I don't.
No, it's wild to me because it seems like disaster.
Can't wait.
Loves going on McAfee and getting pumped up. Everybody tells me he's the man. It's a great little system he's got going. Speaking of, I think this kid's going to be working for Pat McAfee by the end of the week. Tyreek's personal cameraman was fired. he's got this kid who follows him around and films stuff and does social media things with him. He's the guy who Tyreek took the phone from. He scored a touchdown, grabbed the kid's phone, did a backflip, and gave it back to him. The NFL fired the kid, banned him from the league forever, but also is using that footage to promote their league. So classic NFL move. Tyreek has said he's going to cover the guy's salary for the rest of the year.
Why did they fire him? Because Tariq did that?
Because he took part in the touchdown celebration. They're mad. He started jumping up and down after it happened, and I think that's why. They saw him enjoying the moment, and we can't have that.
Sure. Yeah, because we're all really worried about the integrity of the game, because that's exactly what it's all about. Meanwhile, they're just partnering with the casinos. Okay.
I wonder if they fired the NFL cameraman who, remember Tyreek jumped behind the actual TV camera once and started moving that thing around. I wonder if that cameraman got fired. Like, what are you supposed to do?
I mean, you're just supposed to be stoic and say, no, you can't have my phone. Like,
Tyreek,
come on, let him be.
Leave my presence.
Yeah,
I'm at work.
No fun
human
league.
moment.
No fun league. But, Coach, I have great news. Soon, you'll be able to order a Chick-fil-A sandwich wherever you are because they are starting to use drones to deliver their food. I imagine a drone could bring you a chicken biscuit and a hash brown scramble burrito right to the tree stand. How great would that be?
I gotta be
Get
honest
on
with
the
you.
ghillie
This is
suit.
technology I can get behind.
Can they go to the hot box?
I'm not
These
in
drones
love
go
with
over the hot box.
Chick-fil-A. I love their breakfast.
They have a great breakfast burrito.
Oh, it's
Top.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
It's
up
big
there.
league.
Be out there in the fishing boat or in the tree stand. And
Oh, yeah.
In
Bring
comes your Chick-fil-A sandwich.
I'd rather have
Never
a guy in
gonna-
a ghillie suit.
Drop
toss
a
it up and say,
GPS
my
pin.
pleasure.
Pun
My
intended.
pleasure.
It's never gonna fly because the shit's gonna end up showing up cold and somebody's gonna complain. Like it won't be good enough that you
Well-
can get this
they've been
delightful
cold.
morsel just like floated
You know-
to you wherever you are, and it won't be warm enough or something.
I wonder if
Somebody's
it
gonna complain.
parachutes down. That'd be cool.
It's funny you say that because this morning, you talk about be it renting space in my brain. This morning, I had a whole montage on my phone of rednecks shooting down drones.
Yep.
It
I was
was
gonna
They've
so
been doing
good.
that forever.
There you go.
It
It's
was
a new sport.
It was so good. Like the top 25 shot down drones by rednecks or home.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
you
it's
think a
TikTok challenge.
drone with a Chick-fil-A logo is going to make it through the neighborhood? No way.
Oh,
That's
so
Maybe
good.
Chick-fil-A,
bottles.
but definitely not. You know, Chick-fil-A is a pretty sacred cow in the South. So maybe they could get away with it for a little bit, but they better have that labeled that as Chick-fil-A, because if you see Carl's Jr. flying, I mean, get out the 12 gauge.
Yep.
or Amazon. What if Amazon starts
Amazon.
doing that?
They're
Done.
going to. Yeah,
Done.
they're-
Yeah.
Yeah.
These poor Amazon drivers got to already worry about their truck getting looted while they deliver one package to a port. You send drones out, people are going to be. I mean, there's going to
There
be
is
people
not
making a living off shooting down drones.
We've said this before, but there is not a more thankless job in today's society than an Amazon driver, because they have metaphorically and kind of figuratively have a gun to their head every second they're on the clock. They're being watched from every angle. They know every package, where it goes, how long it was been in the truck. It's insane. I couldn't imagine working there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people at the warehouse, they're wearing bracelets so they know if their hands are staying busy.
Ugh,
I will tell you, I actually
wrong?
did that job for a brief time, and you know, I found that because I had a route that was not in a very favorable part of town, I found like I felt like the hero, like when I showed up, like everyone was happy to see that guy. Like
Mhm.
there was nobody that you got out with a package that they were like, oh man, this is bunk. You know, I mean, they were always happy to see you. And
The
I
Jolly
don't know,
Postman.
yeah, it's exactly right. And
Like
I'll tell you what
Robin
though,
Hood.
it was work. That was a lot of work.
Yeah, I don't know if I can.
They don't get enough credit.
No, they do not. A kid in Hinsdale, Illinois,
Been there.
was cut from the basketball team, and his mom sued. Now he's
Yep.
been reinstated.
That is Hinsdale. That is
Perfect.
Hinsdale. You want to talk about a
Perfect.
bunch of rich people with nothing to do. That you look up the average home price in Hinsdale, and it'll knock your socks off. It does not shock me that a Hinsdale mom sued.
Dude,
Yep.
just sucking up the court system in America with some
And the
bullshit.
kid was reinstated. How
Coach is gonna have
mortifying?
a heart attack right here.
Do you show up to practice after you've been reinstated?
He did the Costanza. I'm just going to show up.
Brendan, of course it's Brendan, was all conference as a freshman and sophomore. Then he got a knee injury, and the coach didn't like that. I guess he was, in the coach's opinion, milking the knee injury. He would make him watch videos of Vietnam vets and say stuff like, "These men are amputees, Brendan. Maybe if you watch this video, you'll stop complaining about your knee." So his mom sued.
So wait, he was all conference?
Freshman and sophomore.
He was. Yep.
Then that's
Well,
a little different.
This story is an onion with lots of layers.
Never mind.
It's very different because, I mean, the story that I heard was that he had it out with the coach, and the coach didn't like him, or he got the coach in trouble, something, and that was a backlash that he got cut. He was like, "I'm not taking this from you, you little shit."
Well, now I don't know what side I'm on. All this sounds
Yeah.
like a really good
I'm going
documentary.
to go ahead and park right on the fence on that one because I'm not real sure which direction.
We need all the details before. This it got fucking milky quick.
Yeah,
I thought we were swimming in clear water. No,
let me tell you right now, at Hinsdale Central, I believe is probably the school it's referring to. Hinsdale Central probably has a school newspaper, and there's some kid that needs to cut his teeth and do some investigative journalism and figure out what happened. I need a behind the scenes. I need VHS cameras busting down classroom doors. That's
the
awesome.
heart of every great media is a college or high school newspaper kid that just really wants to dig and just get after it.
Yep.
Remember that?
It's at the heart of my screenplay.
That one guy that what was that movie that we watched with the documentary about the coach that had a fake team and got on the ESPN?
Yeah. One guy
investigate that journalist or he was a rules guy, wasn't he? That rules guy. That's who he was.
His best friend described him as someone who loves rules.
Yeah.
It's always some prick that breaks a story.
Yep.
My kids are the opposite of him.
If you think this nation is raising a whole generation of peas, well, you may be onto something. And that's another discussion. A bunch of pussies.
Okay.
Gotcha. If you're wondering why, then look no further than the list of cool names for boys in 2024, which are Watson, Brixton, Ever, Ivo, Hartley, Maddox, Wyland, Asen, Riot, spelled Ryatt, Banjo, Sumner, Novel, Zeal, Braylon, Copeland, Romeo, Briggs, and Oaken. Oaken. Like made of oak?
Like made of an old oaken armoire?
Oaken.
We're naming their kid
where you soak your bourbon and your wine in an oaken cask.
Hey, let me tell you this. Bring back names like Frank, Bill, Tony,
Rick,
Bob,
Steve.
Stepdad names.
Rick. There's no blur in the lines on those.
Randy.
George.
When's the last time you seen a baby named Randy?
Randall Pink Floyd.
Back when we were named, like you were Chris or you were fucking Chris. A lot of Chris's. I'll be honest with you.
Everybody up here, everybody's uncle in Wisconsin is named Jim or Joey or Tom. Or there's no Uncle Briggs.
If you're over the age of 30, there's a rock solid chance you've got a Jim, George, or Bob in your family.
Yeah.
Bring back Dennis.
What happened to Dennis? Yeah.
Denny.
I mean, those
Banjo.
are
Did
strong
you say
names.
Banjo?
I
We're
said
fucking
Banjo.
lazy.
That's a dog name, bro.
It sounded like a dog list, did it not?
That's a dog name.
Eric pulled up the wrong list.
We are fucking going backwards as a society.
Your name is Riot, spelled Ryatt. So you have to have that conversation every time. Oh, actually, it's spelled.
Here's another thing. Here's another thing. I'll say this on behalf of all teachers everywhere in the history of everywhere. Don't bastardize the English language because you want to get cutesy with your kid's name. It's dumb. Don't
do that.
You're not
Don't get
impressing anybody.
ridiculous.
When you're on the couch, you're like, oh my God, I just thought of this so cool name. Like nobody else thinks that's cool.
No,
it's about
it's punishing your kid for 18 years. It's punishing your kid.
So you can have a 2-minute conversation where someone says, "Oh, I like that name. Was it worth it?
Yeah.
Was it worth putting your kid through hell for their entire
I
life?"
had a nickel for every time somebody said my kid's blah blah, and I'm like, why?
What?
Why
they should make a documentary about kids detransitioning out of terrible names.
You had 9 fucking months. I'm like,
that's a movement I can get behind. Dumping your bullshit name.
It should be a show.
You know, you get a free pass to change your name
from Apple to Randy. I'm in.
Yep, exactly.
I had to say, my son's half brother. They have some kids, and one of them is Johnny. Like actually, Johnny. Like the kid was probably born with like a smoke pack rolled up in his arm, right?
Pony boy.
Yeah, he's got a court date.
Yeah,
he's
the
got a
other
court
kid
date.
is Vince. Love it.
He already owns a body shop.
I'm a firm believer that you reap what you sow on that. If you start getting cute and you go ahead and stamp your little offspring with something like Oakton or something, guess what?
Banjo.
Guess what you're gonna get? Probably pretty far from that.
They're gonna be a DJ.
Yep.
The kid's gonna get his ass kicked.
There's gonna be a strip club.
He's gonna get his ass kicked by a Randy.
If you name him Matt.
Why is
well, and I mean, like,
as hard as everybody tries to be original, you're not.
Nope.
No.
I'll take Bob, Randy,
that's
Tommy, and Johnny against Afton and Oakton and you know Trevin Banjo. Any day, any sport, any competition, I'll take them.
Obligatory hockey talk. The Blackhawks cut Corey Perry, which normally would not be news at all. A hockey player being cut in December, except there's a rumor that he has been cut from the team after the team discovered he had sexual relations with Connor Bedard's mother. The team, of course, vehemently denies this. Deny it all you want, but also you have to tell us why you placed him on unconditional waivers and terminated his contract effective immediately, absolutely out of nowhere. The Danbury Trashers have welcomed Corey Perry to the Bad Boys Club in a social media post.
Yes. Come fuck our mothers, Corey.
I don't know what's in the water in Chicago, but there's.
Whoa. Can I call the episode that?
Whoa. This is starting to become a little bit of a thing. You remember, oh man, I'm going to forget it. There's been a sex scandal or two with news reporters, local weather girls. It's been around. It's been around. Hockey
I
players
can't throw rocks at the weather.
Are a man about town. Well, see you later.
Hello.
They went to Christmas, dog.
You can't throw rocks at the weather deal. That's in a class of its own.
Yeah, but I also got to imagine if this is true, it's like of all the moms, you had to pick the second coming of Christ in Chicago. Like, yeah, you should go. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
There are standards.
What does she look like? And
she's pretty hot.
And was it a Christmas party? Like, what happened? I want to know all. I need to know the deets.
I think allegedly it happened
down.
Somebody had a little too much rum punch or what?
Yeah, but where? How do you fuck your teammate's mom? Where
they have a mother's
bathroom. That's got bathroom sex written all over it.
Well, the Blackhawks hosted mom's weekend.
Mama's, huh? Go ahead.
Bent over a toilet.
Yeah. One night at 2 a.m. at Waffle House.
Well, how'd you get to Waffle House at 2 a.m. with what's his name's mom? Like, how did that? I mean, that's a chain.
Strange things happen, bro.
It's a secret of the trade.
I just say, if that was the circumstances, the timestamp. I mean, she was definitely a willing partner at that point. So let's not put all the blame on him.
Yeah.
How embarrassed are you? Kind of
had
Mom again. Come on.
We had NHL history this week. Voronkov, Provorov, Chinnikov, and Marashenko all scored a goal for the Columbus Blue Jackets on November 27th, marking the first time 4 Russian players have ever scored a goal for the same team in the same game. That seems like something that happens every other Thursday.
I know.
How is that possible?
Hey, can I circle back real quick, though? I was just thinking that if you go to the owner and get this motherfucker canceled, basically, off your team, that is a defensive maneuver that I guarantee you the entire high school hockey team ran through his mother. Like, this isn't the first time. If he's like, I already know where this shit's going,
Yep.
I'm going to go set a precedent right now.
Make an
You know
example.
what I'm saying? Because
Nobody can sleep with his mom.
last team I was on, no way.
Off limits, boys.
Maybe
I'm
that's
the
how
only
he
one that
got
can
where
fuck.
he is. Maybe it's like a Forrest Gump situation. He got special treatment. Maybe he got special lessons. Maybe she's just taking one for the
Come on,
team,
get
but
you some
she
legs to work, son.
God bless Sally Field.
Really
We're
valued
gonna be
her
real
son's-
comfortable here.
Yep. Oh,
What's our
geez.
next topic, Eric?
Well, actually,
no, we have to
it's
talk about Kane. Patrick Kane is now a Red Wing,
Yeah.
and
Don't you dare
and
stop
he got his
hockey talk
88.
without.
Somebody
Don't you
gave
dare
up his
stop
jersey so he
the
could have his
hockey talk
number.
without talking about my Knights.
the Knights. What are the?
They've
what's
cooled
the-
off a little bit. A little bit.
Is Patrick
They were
Kane
white
scoring
hot to
goals
start.
in Detroit?
I'm sure he will.
Yes, his hip is new. Kaner's gonna he's gonna
got a new
wreak
hip?
havoc on the systems. He's gonna do good. He has to. He's got his 82 too. They gave up his jersey so he could have his number. It's kind of a big deal. He's gonna
The
kick ass for a
Knights-
little. He's got some gas in the tank yet.
Maybe we'll see. I mean, I'm glad he went to a classic, hockey team. Not
Me
one of
too,
the
I'm
creative
excited.
expansions. The Knights beat the Capitals yesterday, 4-1, putting their record to 16-5-4. So right on track for the repeat, coach.
All
Hey,
aboard.
I'm excited about it.
And then
I tell you what, it's hard for me. It's hard for me to get into. Look, it's not hard for me to get into the NHL because you guys know I like it. But right now, I'm kind of really just trying to wind down on the college football deal and NFL, and that's got me kind of tunneled. So I lose track of the hockey stuff during this time of the year. It's a busy time of the year anyway.
Mhm.
yeah.
But again, due to the great marketing of the NHL, it's always in my face. So I forget about it a lot. I don't know how, because they bury it on channel 62 next to Gunsmoke.
Yeah. There'll be a dozen NHL games on, and maybe ESPN has one going.
Yeah.
And then when you see the NHL next to Gunsmoke, you have to make a choice.
Yeah.
It's sandwiched between Highway to Heaven and Gunsmoke, and I'm torn. Anything with Michael Landon, I'm in. For those of you under 40 watching this, Michael Landon, great American actor.
Great
Okay.
American actor.
Fabulous hair.
And a great American man.
Yep. Well, all I have left is scientists have simulated what it might be like to enter Uranus to get a better idea of what it takes to approach Uranus.
It took scientists to do
simulated
that
mission.
because
Yeah.
I thought there's a doctor up the street that wants to do it every time I go see him.
They got what you call it. Does he talk about a hypersonic plasma tunnel when you're in there? That's what
I don't.
they
I
figure.
try not to discuss it. That's a whole SNL skit on its own. How Coach tries to avoid the colonoscopy every time he goes.
I just had mine 2 weeks ago. I was sleeping
Oh, I
the
tell
whole
him, I'm
time.
straight up like every time I go, I'm like, yeah, we did that last time. Don't need to do that again. And he's
Yep.
like, no, the chart says. I'm like, never mind the chart. It doesn't. That's not right.
Like,
Slap
like
it
a
out of
touch-
his hand and run out of the office.
Yeah, exactly. We're good.
You don't remember anything though. Like I was talking to the anesthesiologist and I'm like, I feel kind of drunk, sorta. And then I woke up in the room and I was like ready to go home. I don't know.
what did I say?
There's nothing traumatic about it.
No, it's not the colonoscopy so much as the prostate check. That's the one.
That's
You gotta
that's
be
the
careful.
one.
I don't
yeah.
know about that.
And every time that starts
that's
happening,
three knuckles deep.
Oh,
it's my
every
fault
time
for
they
bringing this
even
story.
talk about it, I get the visions of the cup
Way to go,
video
Eric.
from that went around.
Well,
And I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
They figure it'll take about 11.8 miles per second velocity to get into Uranus. So I think it's going to take more simulations before that. So if you've been emotionally damaged by this, go to if you've been emotionally damaged by this conversation, go to Cannon Bloom Pharmacy, and they will find what it will take to get your head back in the right place. Aches and pains, weird stories, scary doctor appointments. They have safe.
I recently woke up during anesthesiology, actually.
Oh, there's movies about that.
I had a tissue graft in my mouth, and then I woke up, and I just remember seeing all the sewing kit right next to my face, and then I go, my hands are tingly, and I just heard a whoa, and then and then I was out.
Whoa,
we got a live one.
Whoa,
gassing.
We're dancing on the razor's edge here.
Awesome.
All right, that's
funny.
all we
Get a
got.
live one.
Thank you, everyone, for listening and the downloads, the reviews. We love them all. Head over to patriotsportsnow.com to see all of our latest goings on. Find us on the Fantasy Sports Corp YouTube channel for Wake and Rake every Sunday morning at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Till next time, be good to each other. Chris, hit the outro music.
You've been listening to Patriot Sports Radio. If you're sick of all the national talking heads and biases of mainstream sports media, like we are, this show is for you. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. For more content and merch, hit up www.patriotsportsnow.com. Find us on Twitter at PatriotsPod, on Instagram and Facebook at Patriot Sports Now, and on Getter, Rumble, and YouTube at Patriot Sports. Take care, and we'll see you next time.